Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you can see me alright. I'm in the woods here, not far from my home, and I'm just kind of getting a little bit of woodsy in me, I guess. Decompressing. You know, we live in an open air insane asylum, and I've seen 3 people wearing a face diaper coming down here to the park, or the ravine, and they're wearing face diapers, and like I'm going, oh wow, you know, it's 85 degrees outside, and you know, your IQ is just speaking loudly here. Like I said, we live in an open air insane asylum, and I had to get down here and just kind of chill out for a bit. Maybe trying to meet up with a buddy of mine. Well, he's a homeless guy. He lives in the ravine here, but last time I bumped into him, he was telling me about a friend of his, a native buddy, died in his tent of fentanyl overdose. Then somebody else burned down his tent, so he ended up moving down the road here, or down the path. He was living in kind of a lean-to he made. And he was telling me about he's got cancer, and he showed me some lumps and tumors on his neck, and anyway. And then he's telling me about another girl was murdered recently, and he says about 10 of his buddies have basically been taken out and not to lunch in the last 3-4 years. Homeless guys and girls. And he says that the po-po's behind it, and they're the ones that are pushing all the street drugs and stuff like that. And you know, this is he says I was going to do an interview with him, but I can't seem to find him right now, and I hope he's all right. You know, but like I said, I come down here just to kind of decompress, and I kind of like chatting with some of these people and find out what their life is like and what's going on, and they all pretty much know me. You know, I'm not like a stranger to these guys. I help them out a lot, like, you know, $5 here, $5 there. I know they're all on meth, right? And sorry, I got a scratchy throat here. It's actually from probably smoking too much weed. But the thing is, I look around and I just go like, I can't believe how these people are living, you know, and there's quite a few white people I notice too, right? I mean, the majority seems to be white folk. And that's in my area. I don't know what the deal is, but I think it's got to do with this big Agenda 2030 thing. And if you guys think that these guys are finished with this convict shit, right? They're just getting started, man. They're coming out with the chicken flu now, right? And saying, oh, the cows are going to be passing it on, and now they want to cull all the herds and kill all the chickens. These guys are nuts. And if you think, you know, you're immune to all this kind of bullshit, well, it's going to catch up with you. I don't do YouTube for shekels, or, you know, I mean, I'm happy if you even comment. I'm actually overjoyed if you comment on one of my videos. The likes, shares, and subscribes, I really don't care, because I'm not into it for money. I do all of this from the goodness of my heart. I try and live with a Christian mentality, you know, treat others as you want to be treated, and don't steal, and don't rob, and don't cheat, and do your best to be a decent person. But as far as the Bible goes and all these books written by man, I really can't put all my faith into that, or any kind of trust, really, considering, like King James Bible, for instance, has been edited 7 times, you know, since 1510, from what I'm picking up, if that's even accurate there. And how can you say that's the Word of God? On top of all the coding that's involved with that, it's a code book. And plus, King James himself wrote, King James Stewart, by the way, he was a black fellow, and from what I'm getting, and he also authored the book Demonology. Right? I mean, are you kidding me? This whole Freemasonic, pedophilia, Luciferian clique, these guys are all whacked, man. The Freemasonic shit is just nothing but the fucking the gay mafia gone crazy, man. I mean, these guys are all dedicated their lives to Lucifer, and I mean, I went to a funeral the other day for a good friend of mine, Brad, who's been a buddy of mine for about 10 years, maybe even a bit longer. And he was saying, well, I went there, and I couldn't believe, see, I've been coaching him for like the last 10 years, and he's been helping me out with some stuff in my life. You know, he's an education guy, so he was helping me out with some issues I was having. And there was premiers and ex-premiers and the ex-mayor of Toronto and all these people at his father's funeral. And like we had the ex-premier of Ontario, Mike Harris, was there. The current premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, was there. The ex-mayor of Toronto, John Tory, was there. DeLuca, he's the mayor of Vaughan. There was a whole slew of parasites there, man. I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, I said to Mars Bar, I didn't feel comfortable, and I kind of wanted to get the hell out of here. But anyway, we stuck it out, and it was like, kind of like a kick in the head. I was going, wow, I can't believe it. And I really felt weird when I was there. Like, I felt like I was just not in my area. I was like in something that, I mean, I've been around a lot of prominent people back in the day. I grew up in a pretty prominent neighborhood. I had friends that were pretty well-to-do. I mean, I had a buddy of mine, Chris Blair, which is probably related to Tony Blair from England. But his mother owned Labatt's Blue, right? Or Labatt's. And they make the beer and all this kind of stuff for Canada here. And these guys lived in a very expensive, like when I went to his house, I mean, it was just phenomenal. It was like an old castle and stuff up on the bridle path. I couldn't believe it. My friends owned construction companies, and they had like my best friend Billy Robinson, man. His grandfather owned Valentine Developments. These guys are mafia related, and they had probably about 15 or 20 apartment buildings in Etobicoke and in Toronto, where I grew up. And they owned the Essex Hotel on Jarvis and the King Edward Hotel on King Street. I mean, these guys had money, and I didn't grow up with a bunch of slouches. And so my world has been kind of like a good and bad. I mean, I didn't grow up, my family's not rich at all, but I mean, we're rich at heart, but I find that some of these rich people and these rich kids, they kind of like my friendship because it was genuine and it wasn't all like about phoniness. And yeah, you know, I was a party animal. I mean, my education pretty much ended when I was in grade 4. My mother passed away from the Big C, and then that happened in 1972, going into 1973, and she died in 6 months of that shit. And I'm not going to get into it, but Dr. Ouchie Pouchie was involved with that stuff back in the day in regards to the AZT treatment that they were pushing on the HIV, apparently contaminated people back in the day, to take them out for lunch too. And so it's just a crazy world that I've grown up in. And then I get involved with researching stuff like my whole year. Like I said, my education pretty much ended in grade 4 because after my mother died, they basically moved me on. They just, I'll get this kid moved on to grade 5, and then I started becoming like a little vigilant bastard. And then get this kid out of here, move him on to grade 6, and then same thing, grade 7, just move 51, just give him a pass, move him along, grade 8, grade 9. I hit high school. That was I mean, I always was involved with drugs. I mean, I was involved with drugs when I was 13 years old. I had an older brother that was 7 years older than me, and his friends were all like partying hard, and they were selling large amounts of drugs. And all driving, 57 T-Birds and 69 Chargers, and even Bobby Baldwin had a Rolls Royce. It was an older one, but he rebuilt it, and the whole muscle car scene and all the pretty girls and stuff. And I'll tell you one thing right now, when I was growing up, 9 out of 10 girls in high school didn't have a huge ass and were overweight and had like triple D breasts. This is where the food's contaminated, the water's contaminated, the air's contaminated. They got us living in an open air prison already, right? And that's why I had a great life, man. I had a great sex life when I was growing up. I went to 8 Rolling Stones concerts, and my first Rolling Stones concert, I was 15 years old. I went to Buffalo Ridge Stadium to catch that show with George Thorogood and a bunch of other bands. But those were the 2 ones that I really got a joy out of. The Rolling Stones, George Thorogood. I seen about 150 different friggin' bands in my day. I played guitar. I had a 78 Telecaster. My brother's got a Stratocaster and Ernie Ball and Takamine, Ovation. He's got my Marshall stack over his place. I got a 100-watt head and a 50-watt head over there. But my life was rock and roll, and I had a good time. And I'll tell you, my first shot of speed myself was when I was 13 years old. And I didn't do it on a regular basis, not like these wackos around here. They're hooked on it hard, man. I don't even think it's the same shit. My uncle got arrested for $5 million worth of speed and robbing banks back in the day. I came from a world that was real, and that's why my buddies, they dug me, man, because I was a straight shooter, and I was cute. I knew how to talk. I could sell ice cubes to Eskimos if need be, and all kinds of other shit too. Anyway, so I caught up with David Banner the other day, and it was great. He called out Nacho, Mr. Macho Nacho. I was there with that RV show in the chat. I try not to say too much. Macho Nacho asked me to come on his show, and he was going to interview me, but I declined it because, one, I was watching this horse shit go on with RV, or should be MV, the Mossad vids, right? And somebody was saying, who is this clown, man? This guy's saying he's the first at finding this and first at finding that. He's the first. He sounds like another fucking Max Egan, that fucking shill, right? And then, so I said, well, look, I said his name in the chat, right? And that fucking Nose 777 bans me for 24 hours. I said, what the fuck? Who is this bitch, man? She's pushing her fucking Snow 777 all the time. Oh, yeah. Listen, I was a member of that Snow 777 bullshit for over a year. And it's just like all these other ones, if you're a member, you can watch the second hour, because this is why we got to make money off you while we're doing this shit. Well, I'm going, okay, I did that for over a year. I didn't really learn anything much more than I was learning in the first hour. And so I removed my membership with this. And then I was also involved I joined a couple of other people with YouTube and stuff like that. And I just found, okay, hold on a second here. Everybody's making fat off of my ass here. I'm the one that's going out and busting my ass. I'm supposed to go do a demo of a grow op soon. It's got mold damage, and then I'm supposed to reframe the basement and put a new ceiling in, get rid of the mold, and clean up this basement. This is what I do, man. Whether it be laying a concrete slab or tearing down a barn or doing a renovation on a $4.5 million fucking brownstone down across the street from the the CN Tower and the Rogers Center. I mean, I do what I got to do in order to make ends meet, and the last thing I'm going to do is lie. Like, you know, I hate fucking liars, man, and especially when they're trying to make money off of fucking boob tube and this kind of shit. Boob tube was provided to you by the military-industrial complex, okay? So if you don't think that everything you're getting off of that fucking Google, right, isn't already pre-scanned, right? If you're talking any reality, it's a hit and miss if you can dodge around all the shit going on there, but some people are hitting parts of it, right? And some people are just downright lying. You know, I mean, this copy and paste bullshit, I can't believe that. You know, I was talking about Nacho there, and he's interviewing everybody out there, and I bet you it'll be, we'll see Patricia Steers back on the scene again. And so she must have had her face job or something, or if that's a her or that's a him, I don't know, because Awake Souls, Ronnie and Jason, they came up with some pretty good information that that's actually a tranny. Anyway, whether it's true or not, I don't know. You know, she went over there to see that guy in the UK, and then they never even slept in the same bed or something weird like that, and she ended up coming back home tuck-tailed or somewhere like that. Anyway, I don't care about that. The whole thing is, it's a shit show. When I met up with Mark Sargent and Patricia Steer here in 2017, 2018 at this Planet Ping Pong joint down at King and Spadina here, this is really weird because at the same time there was that Planet Pizza shit going on with all the kids and stuff like that. And it was ironic that we had this Flat Earth meetup. I call it Flat Realm now myself because I'm starting to realize this is more of a digital experience than anything, right? You know, we live in our circuit board cities and whatnot with our CN Tower that's 1,776 steps in its staircase, and it's a free energy device. It takes the static free electricity out of the atmosphere, and this is where we got us living in computer or circuit board cities, and they're sucking the energy out of us daily. And this has got to do with your cell phone, which I don't own now. I haven't owned one in over 6 years. But back to this whole thing about Patricia Steer and Mark Sargent and this kind of shit. I felt like I was in a room full of cops. And like, look, I'm old school. I've been in jail before myself. Ironically, 9 times out of 10 for shit I never even did. Pardon me. You know, I did 3 months in the Don jail with Cosmo Camiso. He's a heroin dealer. His mother used to smuggle heroin back from Italy to Canada in his diaper when he was a kid. And these guys are kind of involved with the mafia and all. Well, they are. Anyway, this is a buddy of mine from way back in the day. I seen that fucking asshole Chris Sky down at Queen's Park one day, and I said, "Hey man, you seen Cosmo around?" And he said, "Oh, they shot Cosmo in his driveway." And I said, "Oh, fucking great. Yeah, that guy's, Chris Guy's another fucking Freemasonic fucking pedophile." Anyway, so the whole shit about this Flat Realm shit, I felt like shit when I was around it. When I left, I walked home from there, because it was good, because I met some of my good friends, you know, Johnny F.E., Rocker, Andy and Diana were there, Mike Buss, like a bunch of Toronto guys that are solid. But I walked out of there feeling like I got kind of kicked in the head, because I was going like, this is weird, because I realized when they were doing all this kind of shit, this is a Freemasonic symbol for I'm in on the game, sort of thing, you know what I'm saying? And so when I see them pushing, they had about 10 or 15 people. Like I thought, considering Mark Sargent and Patricia Steer was coming to Canada, and Toronto specifically, the whole place would have at least 150 people there, but there was probably about 20 or 30 people there. Huh? And then I said to Mark Sargent, I said, "So what's the real reason you kind of came here?" And they said, "Oh, well, we had to come to this TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival, for that documentary that was going on," right? And then I started thinking, okay. And then I kind of stepped back from all that bullshit, and I do more than just research Flat Realm. Flat Realm is just the beginning, man. You know, if you're getting caught up in those echo chambers and chasing people around in circles, listening to the same fucking debates over, oh, it's going up, no, it's going down, no, we got extra land, no, we don't. This whole shit is a mind job to keep you from looking at what's really going down right now, which is the Great Reset, okay? The Great Reset is when they want to digitize everything, your money, they want to take away your freedoms, they want to put you in a 15-minute city. If you don't think that's serious, that is serious, but that's okay. We'll just keep arguing about, oh, let's go down to the Antarctica with Duffy and we're going to see if we got a 24-hour sun. Are you fucking kidding me? Right? You guys are all still playing that game with these retards? My God. You know, when Mark Sargent went his little Las Vegas fucking meet up with was that Logan Paul was there or something? Logan Paul, I think he's a descendant of some queen in Europe. I can't remember the stats on him, right? Same with that Eric Dubé. He's another one that's got fucking royalty in his blood. I mean, these guys are running an operation, okay? And they're all part of the same game. That's, hey, look, if you don't like what I'm fucking saying, don't like, share, and subscribe me, right? Not that, I mean, I'm on my third full-time channel, and I've got 3 other backups now because they keep taking me down. And as far as, you know, your flat earth stuff goes, well, you know what, it's more than flat earth, guys. You know, this is where they're trying to lock us into our 15-minute cities, okay? If you think I'm kidding, they're building 7 high-rises on my street, 29, 30, fucking ant. They even got a 35-story one going on down on the corner of my street. My street ain't long, man. My street's probably a half mile, maybe a little over a quarter mile long, and they've torn down every single family dwelling, and they're putting up these fucking monstrous high-rises around there, right? And now my 1-bedroom apartment, which is kind of like in the armpit of the fucking devil's fucking dream itself, right? I'm not very far walk from downtown Toronto, right? My $900 apartment has gone to $2,500 a month, right? 24, and then this asshole keeps raising it up and down, but it depends what kind of deal you bust with this cocksucking landlord I got. He's a prick, man. But anyway, the parasitic world that we live in is insane, okay? And if you think making money off YouTube is going to get you anywhere, you're wrong, man. If I was you, I'd get ready, because you'll be lucky if you get YouTube. I just went through a blackout, and I don't have a cell phone, so I went through about a 18-hour blackout where I think it was 250,000 residents and businesses didn't have power for about 18 hours because we got hit with these mega fucking rainstorms, and all of a sudden we got no lights. But my own landline didn't even operate because it's plugged into that shit, right? And this has all got to do with the invasion that I think happened a long, long time ago. It's got to do with this digital versus organic beings, right? I try and keep myself as organic as possible. This is where, I mean, I've been doing parasite cleanses off and on in a big way for at least 5 years. I've even done a bunch of nano detoxes. I can't believe how stupid mankind has become. The animals make people look bad. The people make the animals look great. I mean, I can't believe it. Like I said, I was coming down here, and I seen 3 people wearing a face diaper, and not all together. I mean, this is individually. And I'm saying to myself, where am I? Because this is insane. I mean, I wish I could talk to my parents and say, like, okay, now what's the next step here, guys? Because this place is a fucking nightmare. Anyway, I didn't want to make a big video about bitching. I was just down here getting my my fresh air, I guess. Kind of, you know, I'm decompressing from all the shit. There's so many fear-based fucking morons out there, and I've been accused of all kinds of things in the past, and I'm always getting accused and called I'm no good, and so be it, man. I mean, look, I only try and help people out in a positive way, and I don't try and mess anybody's mojo up or try and diss them, or I don't give anybody disrespect, man. How can I disrespect anybody when I live in a fucking trash can called hell, right? I mean, I swear to God, if you don't think what is going on here is abnormal, right, then you're kind of missing the plot, right? See, it even says in the Bible that the Lord of this world is the demiurge, right? And even Jesus says himself, you know, when Satan took him to the top of the mountain and showed him all his kingdoms on the flat realm, and he says, hey, Buzzy, look, man, you can have all this if you want. You could take your pick, you can do it. Listen, all you got to do is bow down to me. And Jesus says, hey, look, buddy, I'm not of this world, right? You can keep this shithole. I'm out of here. I'm going to another realm, because this place is just a pit stop, and you can kiss my ass, because if you're going to get me trapped down here, I don't think so. And that's why I'm not buying into no fucking cell phones. I haven't owned a television in 15 fucking years. I try people treat people fair, and try and do it in a positive way. I don't like fucking shitting down the back of fucking, you know, I'm not ripping your head off and trying to fucking shit down your neck or nothing here, man. I'm just trying to give you a heads up. Don't get caught up in the mess. Don't live in fear, man. This is a fear-based reality, because I believe they literally sucked the juice out of us, out of these circuit board cities you got us living in. And if you don't think that's true, look it, man. It's insane, all right? The nanotechnology, what kind of asshole would give you fucking water that turns to shit when you take the fucking goddamn probes to it, right? You know, the human brain itself is 88% water. What's a whole new meaning to the word shithead? And then how easy is it to know these people? Fuck, you could pull the wool over these retards in a heartbeat, man. Right? And then you got all these flat earth people running around, or not even just flat earth, you got all these conferences and people trying to put on conferences, and I'll make sure you like, share, and subscribe here. Buy a ticket. Oh, make sure you come to my next fucking meetup. You know, are you kidding me? Right? No. Look at, if you were to, what do you think you're going to get, a pass when you're in hell? Right? Every day I go into work, it's a